Good morning, everybody. It's me, Heather Nichols, today for the Tailored Expressions Live, and I'm hoping that this works today. It says I'm connected. Good morning, you guys. How are you today? So when you join in today, let me know that you're watching and let me know where you're watching from. It's a beautiful day here up in Minnesota. It's sunny, which has been nice. Last week we had just gotten done with that snowstorm, but now there's a lot of snow gone, which is great. So good morning, Paula. It's good to see you this morning. She's creating cards today. So hopefully we have more people popping in. I will just keep talking. So yeah, the weather's been great. This week is kind of been a busy week for me, getting all of the creating done. I'm going on vacation again. I know it feels like I just went on vacation, but I am going on vacation again. Good morning. I see you guys pop in now. Good morning, Michelle and Barbara and Perry and Candy and Tracy and Rachel. It's cloudy in Oregon today. It's snowy in Ottawa. There is snow definitely east of us. Like, we missed out this snow, but Wisconsin, Michigan, sounds like you guys got a lot of snow that direction. So good morning, Mary. Good morning, Sarah. It looks like things are working today. I had a little bit of technical issues last week, so I'm crossing my fingers that things go well. There's been streaming stuff, you guys, not just us. I think it's been kind of all around that there's been some kind of glitchy stuff going on. So it's good to see you all this morning. So let's talk a little bit about what's going on in Tailored Expressions world, okay? So this week was our foiling release, and I had hinted to you guys last week that the foil I was showing you on the sneak peeks was not deco foil and that it was from us. And so now you've seen the full reveal of the rainbow of colors that we have and the new metallics that are our exclusive named foil, the TE Fun foil, and of course all of the new foilet panels that came out this week too. If you are following the blog or our YouTube channel, you saw my video on Tuesday showing how I did the multicolored foiling. Really simple, but it's one of those things that, you know, if you tell somebody you made it, they're going to be like, how did you do that, right? So super easy to do. And then today there is another video up from Joy Baldwin, and she's using those cute little, like, the panels with the waves on them and everything. So she's got a cute card to share on there as well. So make sure you stop by and check it out either on the TE blog or on our YouTube channel. Of course, if you're on YouTube, you're watching me right now, so don't go watch yet. Go watch later, right? So lots of love for the foilets. It's good to see so many of you this morning. Barbara's doing eclipse pre-activity. Yeah, as you're talking about the glitching, I wonder that too. There's so many different things that happen although you would think the moon moving in front of the sun wouldn't cause stuff, but there's a lot of stuff we don't understand out there. So who knows, right? So hey, and one thing, you guys saw Taylor on Tuesday, and it is a new month. It's April, if you can believe that. I talked to you last week in March, and now it's April this month, this month. You guys, it's flying by. It's already the 4th, which we haven't talked about the TE Maker Challenge, and that is going on during the month of April. Last month was using calendar products on projects that you shared, and this month we have a new color thing happening. I'm going to be super, like, the technology here, you guys, since I've switched to all the new stuff is just amazing. So here is what the TE Maker Challenge is. I don't have my little paper printed out, but now I can show you right on screen. Our color challenge this month is using kiwi and dill pickle with any other color of your choice. So these are two fairly new colors to TE. And so we just want you to share your projects. And so you're going to post them in the Fans of Tailored Expressions Facebook page and put the hashtag TE Maker Challenge on your project. I think you can enter, I believe it's 3 times, and there are drawings for $25 store credits, which who doesn't like that, right? So yeah, so that's happening. And the project that I'm going to share today also incorporates the TE Maker Challenge. So I've seen projects popping up already. It's been interesting. The color that I've seen paired with the 2 greens so far a lot it's purples. Like, I saw one this morning that was jelly donut with those 2, and it looks really good, but that it's funny because for me, that wasn't the first color that I thought of to pair with them. So, which I love because I love getting all of the new ideas. I'm all about color lately, guys. Color combinations and all of that sort of thing. And so I love seeing what you guys share. I'm really into the little like color cards lately. It feels like it's kind of a thing now to share your color combinations, which I love because I like to try to think out of the box. I tend to go to my same colors every time. And so keeping track of the color combinations that I'm doing and also looking at color combinations that other people are doing is kind of a thing for me. So Rachel, that was yours with the jelly donut. I think that's right. So yes, I'm always watching you guys. We're always checking out your projects and things like that. I might not always have time to comment on everything, but we see all of the things, you guys. So, and we enjoy it and we share with each other. And I'll be like, hey Taylor, did you see this project by so-and-so? Or Lori, did you see this? Or Jill, did you see this? We're always sharing the things that you guys are creating with each other. We love it. So yes, combinations, Candy says, have to include toffee though. Yes, and I do have toffee down here. It isn't on my color card for today. This is one of the combinations that I'm going to share. But I definitely used toffee today. So let's talk about what's going on. Oh, today, yes, we'll talk about that. And then I'll talk about next week quickly before I flip down. So today is our Throwback Thursday release. You guys have seemed to be loving that, where we're releasing products that were originally part of kits a while ago or some other event or something like that, and we're releasing them now to include in our TE collection, and so that you guys can purchase them. Once they have added into the collection, it's not limited right now until maybe when we decide to retire things down the road. But so what I'm showing you today is going to just be in the store, so you can get it. If it sells out, we're going to get more in, so don't panic about that. So today is Cakewalk, is the products collection that I'm going to share with you today. And this was part of a Crop and Create event last fall. And I remember seeing these images for this and going, oh, we don't get that, but now we do get it. So I'm going to share that with you in just a minute. But first, should we talk about next week? Because I know you guys like a little bit of tea, right? So next week, we are going to be sharing all things for... we call it our For Her release, so it kind of lines up with Mother's Day and that sort of thing, but we're just kind of celebrating the different women in our lives and just kind of, yes, that's what we're doing. And a lot of the products are going to be great for making Mother's Day cards or cards to give to the special women in your life, or the products can be used for so many different things. So I will give you a peek here. This is my first one. April's like, spill it. Yes. So we've got a watering can and new flowers. Yes is coming. And you might recognize this font if you remember the Valentine release. So now we've got something for the Mother's Day release that matches that, which I'm like, I'm going to collect all these letters. I just love how pretty that font is. So there's that for Mother's Day. And a lot of in fact, we were kind of talking about this, and then Taylor's like, is this too, like, I don't know, telling people we want them to do stuff for us? And I'm like, no, because there's so many people that I know that enjoy this hobby, and I don't think there's enough products out there to celebrate it. And we had released some products under this theme on our Black Friday release, but now we're going to have lots of new fun things to coordinate it with. So all things cooking. This is just one of the products that's coming, but if you remember, we had a stencil that came out with some fun cooking things for the Black Friday thing. So yes, super fun, and I'm really excited. I had a lot of fun creating with these, and do you guys remember me talking about how I was spreading my stuff out and I just cut, like I'm doing the flowers for these projects, and I just cut and cut and cut and cut, and I have a whole desk full of flowers, and I had sent it to Taylor, and she's like, you need to take a picture of that because nobody creates like that. But I do, or that's weird. She said, that's weird. I think we all create in different sorts of ways. So, but then I had all sorts of fun flowers to put onto all sorts of projects. So yes, that's the kitchen stuff is coming. It's It's not hitting Throwback Thursday, but it will be coming to you live next week on Tuesday. So, and we'll have sneak peeks. Obviously, Charlie will post sneak peeks on our social media, and there will be a sneak peek of a few of the projects from the design team up on the blog. So make sure you are paying attention to the different areas that we share lots of fun little things like that. So, okay, are we ready now for the cakewalk? And let's take a look at the products that are releasing today, and then we will get crafting because we obviously have to craft with the new products too. So I'm going to flip you down to my table and we will take a look at the cakewalk products. So here are the different projects that I did not create the one in the middle, but I created this other one. So I had a little bit of fun creating with that. And like I said, I worked in our TE Maker Challenge, which at first I was like, how do you work green into cake, right? It kind of is not the most appealing color, but I had a lot of fun pairing this with the blues and pinks to create some different looks for birthday cards. So I've got, here's my color combination here. I've got the kiwi and the dill pickle, and then this card I used cotton candy, snow cone, and mango. And then this card collection, which we're going to make this card today, I did the bubblegum and dragon fruit with the kiwi and the dill pickle. So yes, there is a cloche and it can be a shaker. So let's go through the products that you are part of this cakewalk release. So of course the star of the show is the Stencil and Clear combo set. So there is a set of 4 stencils. And when you stencil with these 4 stencils, you will actually make 5 images. You'll have a big piece of cake, or a big cake, a single piece of cake, a cupcake, and 2 of the kind of cake stands that you can put the cakes on. So it's kind of fun. You stencil with these stencils and you get all sorts of elements ready to go to work on your cards. So I had fun when I did this one. So this is the one with just the stencil and the clear, and I also used some of the happy medium in there to give it a little bit of extra sparkle as well. Here's the clear stamps that go with it. So you've got sentiments that are on there. Oh, let me put that behind the stencil so you can see that a little bit better. There's lines for the cupcake, there's lots of sentiments, and there's fun little stars and sparkles to add around your birthday things. There's little sentiments that will fit up into that little banner on top of the cake as well. So that's the main show of the Cakewalk collection, is the stencil and clear set. Of course, we have coordinating dies to cut out that stand, the cupcake, the slice of cake, and the big cake. So those 2 are kind of, I think this is what kind of came out with the original class that was done last fall. So the new things, which some of you caught, are the cloak, the cakewalk cloche. So there is the outer part and there's an inner part. So you can, I use just the base part for this one and kind of just made a background behind the cake on there. You can cut out the frame and just put the frame over the top of your cupcake or piece of cake. This one I actually shortened a little bit to fit over the top of the cupcake. And you can also, of course, make a shaker. So this one has whole little shaker element here, and I filled it with the glitter drops. I think that is the lemon meringue, the Cookie Monster, and the lime zest. Super cute, kind of to match my whole color combination that I had going on there. So that is the Cakewalk cloche. That's new in the collection. And then we have the Foil It Cakewalk. So this pack has 12 panels in it, and it's all the same one. So this is going to add sparkle and shine in between all of your elements. So here's what that looks like when you foil it and then add the stenciling to it. And we're going to do some foiling today as well. This is also a color combination that I used the dill pickle and the kiwi in, and I added the cotton candy and the snow cones for more of a little bit of a rainbow. So that's another color combination option. But I went with the pinks and the blues when I was working on my final projects. So that is that. And then of course, we are going to give you inspiration. And so if you purchase anything from the category, the Throwback Thursday category, you will get the free My True Colors inspiration cards. And there are 4 cards here that give you 4 color combinations and 4 card ideas. In fact, I have this card right here. This one was made by Taylor herself. And so you'll get inspiration on that. You can stick these in your inspiration file to keep track of those color combos. Like I was talking about earlier, I feel like this is just a thing. And then you'll get the 3 additional ideas as well. So this is free with any purchase from the Throwback Thursday category. This will be available until 9 a.m. Central next Thursday, which is the 11th. So if you order in that window, you will get the cards when you order from the Throwback Thursday category. Yes. Paul is saying, of course I sent in my order and now will I need a second one today? I don't know. It depends on what you ordered. So yeah. So again, we've got that card. Here's my blue cards. I'm trying to see if I think I showed everything. So, but we'll take another look at that. I had fun. I really liked the sparkle on this one. So I did add a little bit, and we'll talk about this when we do some stenciling. There's a little bit of mango in there as well for the candle and the actual cake on the cupcake. So there's that. And then our pink cards. And like I said, we're going to create this one today. So we'll get started on that. And I have my random, I didn't make this into anything yet. So it will go in my folder of things. And so later on, when I want to do some crafting, it will be ready to go. Okay, so we're gonna foil first. And so I'm going to grab one of the panels out of the Foil It pack. And I am foiling today with the holographic silver fun foil. Obviously, whatever color foil, and of course, any of the colors that were released this week, and you're gonna get such an array of different looks depending on the type of foil that you use. I'm going to grab my foil magic shim and my carrier sheet, and we're going to cut the foil. I have my mini mink set to a 3. That is what works best for me. And I've got it all warmed up. It's green when it's warmed up. It'll be blinking red if it's just, if it's warming up, if that makes sense. So this is ready to go. It's nice and hot. Depending on your machine, and the best thing to do is to run panels through and see what works. If it's a 3 that works for you, or a 4, if it works well with the shim, without the shim. We have all the sorts of different tools to help you figure out what works best for you. All right, people are asking about the sneak peeks. I did share already, so you'll have to watch the replay later to see that. So I'm just going to cut this to fit onto that 6x6 panel, because the design pretty much covers that whole panel. And of course, if you wanted to, you could just cut out the different elements and do one at a time, but we're going to do the whole thing because you're stenciling the whole thing. So if you don't use everything in one shot, then you can save it for the next time you're crafting. I'm trying to decide how to fit this over the top. Right, so I've got my foil magic shim. I'm going to set my panel in, and the foil on top, pretty side up. And then we're just going to feed that in there, and it's going to grab it. You guys are filling in, everybody, talking about next week. Yes, there's going to be lots of sneak peeks this weekend, so believe me, you can watch the replay of the video to catch where I shared the sneak peeks, or you can follow our social media and you're going to see all sorts of things. And I am showing you, literally, you guys, I'm showing you just a little bit because I don't get assigned everything. So I'm showing you just a taste of what is coming out next week. There's going to be lots of fun things. Okay, so that has run through, and I'm just going to take that out of there and let it cool just a second before we start stenciling. After we pull that off, I'm going to put this over here because I don't have any more foiling to do. Put this back in the container. I need the little sticky dots like Taylor has so that I can stick my foil or cut it to put into the thing. So, okay, let's peel this off. And now I have a really fun foil design. I really like the kind of the shimmer ones and the glitter ones with that holographic look. In those tiny spaces, just add such a pretty flash of sparkle and color. Okay, let's zoom in so you guys can see a little bit better. If you've been around at all, you know that I am a pixie sprayer, so you can hold your stencils in place with tape if you would like, or I love pixie spray. So I'm going to spray a thin layer of this on the back of my stencil to hold it in place. You don't want it to be too thick or gloppy. So this one, when we start stenciling, there are guides on the stencil for lining things up, but there are not guides on this panel. But there are pieces of this, and I actually have the 4th stencil, so I'm going to rewind just a second. Our stencils have in the corner a dash, I can't know if you can see that, a -1, a -2, a -3, however many stencils are in the layering set. And that's the suggested order of how you should stencil. You don't have to follow those rules. Sometimes we do it for a specific reason. I think this one, it's not that big of a deal if you do it out of order, but I'm going to do it in order. So I'm going to switch to this first stencil. Yes, these will definitely be fun with the new foil colors. So there's a couple things that you can use to get things lined up, and one is the banner here. And we're also going to look at this little flame right here, and also this here. So you're going to see the foil pieces peeking through to help you line up, and obviously the little circles on the cake. You can kind of see that your polka dots are falling in the correct place on your project. And this little cake piece over here. This is looking pretty good. All right. But when I do stencil, I am going to make sure that I hit these areas right there so that I can have these extra guides to help me line up for the next layer. Now this one, I'm going to do this first layer in, I'm trying to remember which color I used first, in the bubble gum, but I don't want my candle flame to be pink and I don't want my cake to be pink. I want that to be more of a regular color. I mean, it doesn't matter. You can, if you want a pink candle flame, you can do that. So I'm just going to use a little mango, and I'm just going to hit that little candle flame, and I'm going to hit that little piece of cake right there. I just felt like it helped it look better. You could do this first layer all in yellow, but I wanted to do my pinks with my greens for this project. Okay, so we're gonna do the bubble gum. Bubble gum actually came out the same time as when the dill pickle and the kiwi came out. It was kind of, to me, those colors that came out during that release was like a Lisa Frank like flashback for me. They're definitely bright colors that were really popular when that was all kind of a big craze. Trading stickers and notebooks and folders, all with the unicorns and rainbows on it. Totally my style. All right, making sure you move your brush in both directions, making sure we hit the little square guides on the side to help for lining up the next layer. I'm using my bitty blender brushes. I think these are just, I use my big ones too, but these are just my big go-tos all the time. Fill in that color. I'm just going to add just a little bit of extra color kind of on that inside of that cake slice, just for a little bit extra depth. This one, there's so many little pieces here. There's not a lot to shade or add shading to. I'm going to hit this square over here. Feel like that's feeling good. So there's our first layer with the bubble gum. Layer number 2, make sure I have the right one. Layer number 2, we're going to go with kiwi. Again, we're going to start off using those squares as a guide. This layer has that kind of scallop on both cake stands that really helps you line things up. We've got this frosting swoosh over here. I think I'm pretty close. There are some overlapping polka dots on the cake, just so you're aware of that. I think that's looking pretty good. And then we're going to do kiwi on this layer. I love how the polka dots just make like this whole confetti cake kind of look. Get that cake slice piece in there. And do this top of this little scalloped tray. More polka dots over here. Pam says she went back and watched, so you must be able to rewind the live. I guess I've never tried to see how that works. Again, adding just a little bit more color on the inside of that cake slice, just for a little bit more depth on that bigger open area. And then this last scalloped piece on this cake plate. Kiwi is definitely a lighter green. I do really like it. It's actually a little bit brighter and lighter than the next kind of brighter, lighter green is Granny Smith. Oh, Lauren's saying you can rewind the live on YouTube, not on Facebook. Good to know. All right, layer number 3. We're going to do this layer with the dill pickle. I'm thanking my lucky stars that the inks don't smell like dill pickle, like we saw on our video on Monday. If you missed our April Fool's video, kiwi and dill pickle and bubblegum and dragon fruit all together, I'm not sure would be pleasant. Oh, that was a good video. So if you missed it, make sure you go check it out. Back in my little jar over here. Jennifer's asking if you have to buff off the extra ink from the foil. You know what? I really have not done that. I think you could, but I really have not had to do that. I've not noticed the color buildup on the foil when I've done blending over foil. I suppose you can if you notice something. I feel like when you're blending, it's not this super heavy layer of ink. And my guess is there are colors that make color the foil more than other colors, like probably like purples and things like that. That might be a little bit more intense when it comes to adding color. On this project, I did not wipe off extra foil. Actually, really, I can't think of a project that I really have done that. Maybe somebody else has done that, and they can share. All right, gotta get this cupcake. Sandy's saying, I have a hard time cleaning the plastic stencils after using the pixie spray. What is your secret? I actually really don't clean it off, my stencils. I know there are people that use, if you spray the alcohol on, and I will say, if I have to clean the back of my stencil, like if ink gets back there and I spray with this is the 90% isopropyl alcohol is what I use to clean stencils and things like that. And I would say I can feel that this takes off the pixie spray in the back. Does it completely do it? Well, I don't spend a lot of time on it because I use pixie spray on my stencils every time. So it's not a big deal to me if there's pixie spray back there the next time I go to use the stencil. But I know people use Dawn Power Wash. I know people use the alcohol spray. Hand sanitizer has alcohol in it, although that's, to me, when I've tried to clean stuff with that, it's kind of a goopy mess. Maybe other people have better suggestions or experiences. Okay. There is our dill pickle layer. It's kind of funny to say that when we're making cake. Oh, Lauren, I think that would be so hard if you were a crafter. I think about this because I do obviously all the paper crafting, but I'm a knitter and I do cross stitch as well. And of course a million other things, and to not be able to use my arm would be very difficult. So I feel so bad for you. Paula is saying Dawn Power Wash will take off the pixie spray in the ink colors. So thanks, Dawn. I've not used Dawn Power Wash. I've heard people use it. I have not myself used it to clean my stencils. All right, this is layer number 4. And as you can see, you can line that up with the base there. So it's really, and once I have those squares in there too, it's really easy to get all of these lined up. And you have just, I mean, with the lines and the foil and everything, you have just a little bit of wiggle room for your blending. And our last layer is dragon fruit. This also came out when kiwi and dill pickle and bubblegum all came out. It's a very intense pink. I actually really like dragon fruit. Lollipop is not my favorite, which Taylor gives me a lot of grief for, but I can do dragon fruit. And that's kind of funny, isn't it? And I don't know if it's because it has kind of that kind of, I don't know if there's a little bit of purple in here. I don't know. I used it last week when we did the mixtape project as well. Whoop, a little bit bright there. I'm not worrying about that too much. Don't forget that if you've got any splotches or blotches or anything, our ink kind of spreads out and smooths out as it dries, and so those areas will kind of smooth out and you're not going to really see some of those things. Lauren, I have no trouble shopping online with my right hand though. I love it. You can stock up for when you are ready to craft. I'm going to imagine at some point, some of this crafting, can we call it occupational therapy? Can we call it rehab? I'm thinking that we could, right? All of our fine motor skills that we use to do all of the different paper crafting that we do. Barbara's wondering what flavor of cake. I'm thinking it's more like, you know those rainbow cakes where they just color the different layers of the cake with the food coloring to just get the dramatic colored effect. That's what I'm going with. I'm not sure I want to try a dill pickle cake. Maybe a mint cake. It could be like the cream de mint kind of thing. There's like a pie that my husband has made. That's a cream de mint thing. I believe it also involved chocolate, if I'm remembering right. So maybe that, but yeah, I don't need to try a dill pickle thing. There was dill pickle jelly beans. Am I remembering this right? I did not purchase them, so I don't know if any of you purchased the dill pickle jelly beans to try them out. I passed, way past. Okay, I'm feeling like that's good. So So let's take a look at what we've got. There is our finished stenciled panel with all of those pretty colors. This looks like we are ready for a party, right? Okay, I'm gonna set this aside. And of course, I gotta splatter it, right? Again, you guys don't need to splatter. I love to splatter. Sometimes I don't, sometimes I do, but I did do a little bit here just to get some kind of texture on the cake and stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna grab my water brush. I graduated to a new water brush and we're still becoming friends. And I think it's because I'm used to my water brush that needed a lot of poking and prodding to get it to do what I needed it to do. And this one it's not there yet. So we're gonna do a little bit of splatter with the chocolate truffle liquid watercolor. I have that on the acrylic block. This is what the bottle looks like, and I just put a few drops on here. And when it dries, you can kind of let it go with, or kind of reactivate it, there's the word, with water. So yes, this brush is new. My other one, it got clogged enough in here, I couldn't get water to go through it as easily anymore, so it was time to move to that one, which means I need to order another one of these. We don't carry this one in the TE store, but it's a Faber-Castell. I'm not sure if that's exactly how to say. I've used this style of water brush for many, many years. And we've got the Dr. P.H. Martin's Bleed Proof White. Let's grab a little bit of that to kind of spread it out in my just a few little white drops here and there. It always looks like a lot right now, but once we get them all cut out, it's really subtle. Rinse this brush out. Definitely behaved a little bit better today. We're getting to know each other. Okay, let me just wipe this down. So I usually kind of just, if it's wet, I can just use my microfiber cloth, maybe a little bit of the alcohol I have in a spray bottle to kind of clean this up. If you've got some really tough spots, I know we were chatting online and Jill had done some gold splatter and that was not coming off of her glass mat very easily. And so my trick that I do is a Clorox wipe. A Clorox wipe seems to get some of those really tough stuff. And I will use that on other things too that have ink and everything that isn't coming off super easy. Okay, let's cut. I gotta zoom you out a little bit here. Let's cut that. We definitely share with each other. Okay, so let's check out the die situation here. I am going to cut apart the pieces just to kind of make that a little bit smoother. And for my project, I just need a cake stand and the bigger cake, but I think we'll just cut out everything. Why not? I think people, I don't know. I'm not a baker as far as being able to make this cake. Don't ask me. I'm the one who goes to the store and orders it. If somebody says, "Are you bringing something?" I'm like, "Mm-hmm," and then I will go buy it. My husband is the cook in our family. I can cook. I choose not to. There's the cake right there. And then let's cut up the slice of cake. Grab my tape from here because I can reuse that. These dies are super easy to line up around the outside. You know, sometimes it feels like there are sometimes dies that are just more of a challenge, but these ones seem to be pretty easy to line up. And I'm not sure why that is, but it is what it is. I think my candle is not quite, I think it slid when I moved it. The plates on this die cut machine, you guys, they drive me crazy. There's the slice of cake. Let's see here. We got the cupcake and then we got cake stands. Here's our cupcake. Got that in place with some tape. We'll send that through. And then we've got cake stands to cut out. Line that up. There's our one cake stand. Then I'll have all these pieces ready to go, along with my other slice of cake for when I am ready to craft next. It's usually I need a birthday card, right? I'm sure I'm not alone in this, where that's what I'm digging for out of my box. So if I have some of these ready to craft, then that will be, if they're not in my box, then I can throw one together quick. Okay, we got those all cut out, and we also are going to cut out a frame. So I've got the frame from, I believe this is the frame in frame 2 cutting plate die collection, and this one's been around for a while for sure. I love that scalloped border. Let's cut that out with the largest frame from Dragon Fruit cardstock. Don't think I need a piece of tape. I think I can handle it. And I always say that and then it will slide. I think we're good. All right, there's our frame that we're going to use. Now we have some stamping to do. So let's get this out of the way. Find my pieces of cardstock for my card. Where did you go? There we go. All right, so I have an A2 piece of cardstock. I'm also going to grab this cake so that we can put the little sentiment up here. So let's zoom in just a little bit closer. So the stamps we're going to be using are the acrylic stamps, so you need your foam insert in there. Let's start with the cake and let's do the little sentiment on the top. Actually, let's do the background. So we're going to do a background. This is something that before there were lots of backgrounds and options like that, this is something that I would do pretty often. And I'm just going to take my cake and my cake stand just to kind of gauge where that's going to fall on the card. And I'm going to go to my clear stamps. I've shuffled everything around in this pile over here. I can find my clear stamps. There we go. And we're going to put a bunch of little sparkles around the cake. So you can see I have actual stars on here, but also I have stamped the background with lots of little stars. And so sets like this that have kind of those little kind of accent pieces, this is kind of what I do to kind of make a little starry background. Like I said, I'm kind of gauging. I don't have to be exact, because if the little stars and sparkles fall behind the cake, that's not a huge deal. But I want to get an idea of where it stands so that I kind of set these sparkles in the right spot. So I'm taking the clear stamps and I'm just arranging them around the piece of cake, kind of where, and I'm going to do this just a few times to get some good sparkling going around the cake. So I've got these set up like that, and I'm just going to close the lid of my MISTI to pick that up. I've got my magnet holding this in place. We're going to ink these up with sugar cube ink. So I'm just going to tap that on there and then close the lid to stamp those little sparkles around the cake. And I usually do a couple of impressions so I get a brighter white going on around the piece of cake. So we'll do another impression of that. And I'm not doing a huge ton of pressure with that thing. Maybe I'll do one more just for that extra bright. I keep my white ink, my sugar cube ink pad it's not really over inked. And so really to get the brighter color, I build it up a little bit like this. Okay, so we're going to just kind of wipe that ink off these little pieces. And then we're going to fill in with just a few more things. So I'm just going to move these around, find kind of different spots for the different shapes. And so if you were doing multiple cards like this, obviously you're going to stamp your backgrounds multiple at a time. But in this case, I'm just doing this one card background. And so I'm just going to add just a couple of sparkles around everything. And like I said, we're going to add some other ones again. So again, I arranged in another spot, and I'm just going to lift that up. And we're going to go ahead and ink that with the sugar cube ink, or whatever color you want for your sparkles around your cake. Do it a couple times to get a bright white. I think we're just about there. I might do a couple extra little spots with some more stars. I'm just going to wipe these off quick, and then I'm going to fill in just a few more spots. Then we'll stamp our sentiment onto our cake piece. So let me see. I'm going to do the large star up here. And I feel like maybe the little star down here. I feel like that's good because remember, we've got the frame kind of going around here as well. So I'm just going to do a couple of those to create a few more sparkles around the cake. I'm doing a couple more stars, I guess. One up here, one down here. Oop. And maybe one more, because I think I was doing about 3 times with that before. So, okay. I'm just going to wipe these quick to put those on there, and then let's put the sentiment on. We're going to put a little sentiment on this little banner up here. So I don't need my background on there really, or the cake plate right now. we'll just hold this in place, and I'm going to grab, there's the ones that fit in the banner. We've got a hooray, a celebrate, the yay also fits up there. I did the celebrate, so let's grab that. And it's a clear stamp, so you can set that right in there. You can see right through it, so you know exactly where that little celebrate is going to go. If you wanted to put this on an acrylic block, you could. I just thought this was, for me, the better way this time. And I'm going to use that VersaFine Clear to stamp that celebrate up there. So I'm just going to ink that up. Don't need very much for these tiny words, and we're just going to literally kind of tap that. And I got a little bit of a blop on there, but that's okay. So there's that little celebrate on the top of that banner. And I'm just going to wipe that off so I can put that back in the stamp set. Okay, so let's put this card together. I'm going to start off by putting down the frame. Just use my tape runner on that. You can obviously use liquid adhesive as well. And like I said, I know this is going to overlap some of the stars, and I'm okay with that. So we'll center this on here. Right about there. And then I'm going to add this flat, kind of right adhered to the background, the cake stand. I'm kind of setting it right on that dashed line on the bottom there. That gives it a place to sit. All right, and then for here, let's grab, this is one of the 1x3 thin foam pieces. Let's flip that over. I'm gonna set that right here. And I think we have to do just a little trim off of that piece for the other side. And then I'm just going to use a little bit of this here for the banner. So that has got some adhesive behind it. I'm going to trim that down just a little bit. I think I'm constantly grabbing those 1x3 foam strips and cutting them down to fit whatever I'm doing. All right. All right, we'll set that right on the little cake plate. So cute. All right, my final finishing touch on this card is the Bits and Pieces white clay stars. And yes, I finally got my embellishments all into those little containers. So let's dump some stars out, and we're gonna just kind of scatter these stars around the cake. I don't just glue them in place. We're just gonna lay them out a little bit and get an idea of where they're gonna go before we commit to gluing them down. I'm also picking out the stars that I like, because sometimes there's some crazy stars in that. And I put lots of stars because, yes. And I'm working, kind of putting them around the little stars that I stamped into the background. Oh, that star's a little crazy. Let's get a different one. That's feeling pretty good to me. So let's grab, I've got my, I love multimedia matte. That's my favorite liquid adhesive. And I've got my pick and place tool to pick up and add my little drop of glue underneath. I just put new sticky on there and it seems to be like extra sticky. Like I have to kind of, it's okay to let go. This one is not letting go. There we go. To concentrate here. All right. This takes concentration. So trying to decide if I have enough. Do I need any more stars? Can never have too many. I think I did that one. Here's my check. I usually kind of tip it up to see if I actually got all of them glued down. Once in a while I miss one. All right, let's get these stars back in here. The frame is from, if you missed that, this is from the Frame and Frame 2 Cutting Plate Die collection. There's like a Frame and Frame 1 and a 2 and a 3. Lots of great frames to go around your images on your projects. Okay, let's add this to a card base, which is somewhere. There we go. I'm going to add the adhesive here instead of flipping that other one over with all the things I just glued down on it. I maybe should have put it on the card base first. And I like to flip mine over and line up at the top of the fold. That seems to be the best way for me to get it all on there. And there we go. Look how cute. I love this confetti cake design. It is so pretty. And of course, like I showed you earlier, you can customize these colors for the person, the occasion. I mean, this is a, I guess you would guess a birthday cake, but this could be for a wedding or it could be for another type of celebration as well. That's not, doesn't necessarily have to be just a birthday cake. So super cute. And let me flip you guys back up to the top. I hope you had fun today and had fun creating with the Cakewalk stuff. I hope you've been inspired to do some birthday card creating with the card that we created today. And yeah, so I hope you guys have a great weekend. Have a great rest of your day. I will be gone for a couple weeks. Susan will be coming in. Like I said, I'm going on vacation. And so I'll be gone for a little bit again. But Susan will be there. Taylor will be there. Follow the blog and our social media to keep up on everything that we have going on. And make sure to check out those Cakewalk things in the Tailored Expressions web store. So thank you guys so much. Join Taylor next Tuesday for her release that I gave you a little peek of earlier.